everyone, so this is going to be a very quick part 2 video to my explaining my blood exchanges and health crap video. So basically I left off in my part 1 video about that I was about to go in, well, I wasn't about to go in, but I decided to get the permanent line. So they called it a vortex, and I have to kind of quickly explain another situation that happened. Back in April, I have a favorite nurse who I am going to call Felipe. No, that's not. Okay, I'm going to call her Mary, okay? She's not named Mary, but I don't want you guys to find her name. She used to be my favorite nurse, and she used to be the one who could always get my veins when everyone else couldn't. She'd be like the backup call. We were talking about how I don't want the permanent line, and she made a comment that I found funny at the time, but when I actually came to getting this permanent line, I was terrified, and I was so angry at the fact that she said it, because I think it's a little inappropriate. So she was saying, oh yeah, can you imagine going through airport security? And this probably doesn't make any sense to you guys because I haven't explained what the line looks like or anything. I'll try to insert a picture in right here. It's showing you guys what it is, but basically it's 2 plastic little hubs backed by metal. So I haven't gone on a vacation yet, and I'm not looking forward to it, to be honest, because it is, I think, 79% titanium and the rest aluminum, I think. So, yeah. It's going to be very interesting at airport security. I have a little doctor's card and stuff, but even still, I'm just not looking forward to it. But yeah, so I was very angry, and my parents were really angry, and I did get really upset right before I was about to call and say, yeah, I'm getting it, but oh well, I ended up having to get it, so I kind of like had no choice, to be honest. So anyways, I called, they were like, yay, that's fine. Well, actually, I went in to see a girl with it to see how it worked and stuff, and then I called to say, can I come in to see her, and then by the end of that visit, seeing her, you know, how it works and everything, I had made a date for mine to go in, and it was the next week, so it was very sudden, and it's like almost like you have to get your mind used to it, but I didn't really have that time. I was very depressed on the day. Well, not depressed. Depressed is something that is used so loosely these days, and it's not something to joke about, so I was very sad about the whole situation and the fact that I have to go through this and stuff. So that was kind of like the struggle part. But anyways, I ended up getting the best team possible. I don't think any other team would have done it so well. So basically I went in, and I waited for a bit. Actually, I signed in, and then I waited for a long time. And I had an appointment at 12:30, and I was there at 12, and I waited till 1:30 because apparently I didn't sign in properly. Like, they signed me in, but they didn't sign me in with the unit. So they signed me in the hospital, but not the unit. So I basically just said at like 1:15, I was like, hey, you know what, like, where am I? How come I haven't had my appointment yet, all this stuff? And they said, oh, sorry, like, we didn't sign you in properly, blah, blah, blah. They were looking for you, but yeah. And I was like, oh, no, they're not going to tell me to come back another day. No way, no way, no way. But ended up being just, I think, a better team, because I don't think they were doing the one before. I think it was like I replaced someone else. So anyways, yeah. So I went in, I was really nervous, and I said, give me as much drugs as you can, which sounds really bad. But I just said, you know what, I don't want to know anything that's happening, just drug me. And I actually had the same nurse, well, one of the same nurses that I'd had the previous time for getting my temporary line, so he knew like how I felt about it and stuff. So, and he's really, really nice. I love him. His name's David, and I'm not afraid to say that because there's so many Davids in the world. So yeah. Anyways, so he helped me out, and he just got me as comfortable as I possibly could be, and wheeled me in and said, give her as much drugs as possible because she doesn't want to know anything that's happening. I had to sign a waiver and not an instructional form, but basically like what to do after, and if anything did happen after, it would be more on me than on them, depending on what happens. So yeah, I had to sign those 2, and then they laid me on the table and said, breathe this in and have a good night. And it wasn't a good night because it was like an hour's process, but yeah, it wasn't a general anesthetic, it was just a temporary anesthetic, a local anesthetic. No, it's not, well, because it was local anesthetic. Obviously, they freeze me there, but they also made me really sleepy. So I did actually fall asleep, but I don't think I was supposed to fall asleep. But oh well, it works for me. So yeah, I woke up and I was bandaged all on here, this side. I wanted them to put on this side, but they insisted on putting on that side because there's a better artery there and it coincides better with, I don't even know. So yeah, they did, and I wasn't upset about that for some reason because I felt no pain, and I really genuinely thought that I was going to have so much pain after, but I felt nothing, and it was literally amazing, and they just made me so comfortable, and oh my god, my greatest my greatest gratitude and thanks go to the team that put it in, because they were amazing, and they were really friendly, and like they're talking to me about my name beforehand and all this stuff, and you know, I just appreciate the fact that there are some people in the healthcare business that do care and do want to make you like the best, in the best mood and the best comfortability and have the best comfort level that you possibly can have before you have this little thing, because it was considered day surgery, so you know, it's something that I think is not a little deal, like it's a big deal, and some people treat it like, oh whatever, just go have it, but these people were really nice and they made me feel very comfortable. So I didn't feel any pain. I came home. I couldn't drive home, so my mom drove me home, and I had basically a nap because I was really tired from the drug still, and we just ended up, I woke up at like 9 o'clock for some reason, and we ended up watching some TV, and then I went to sleep, and around 9 o'clock when I watched the TV episode, I started to feel some, I wouldn't say pain per se, it was more discomfort, but they gave me some Tylenol 2 to take in case of anything, you know, any pain, and they said that there would be pain for about 2 weeks, so yeah, and then at 4 o'clock that morning, I'll never forget, at 4 o'clock that morning I woke up, I was in agony. This wasn't discomfort, this was pain. Oh dear Lord. I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So I ended up taking, I had Tylenol 3 here. I ended up taking one Tylenol 3 and, no, sorry. I ended up taking one Tylenol 3 and one Tylenol 1. And I don't know why I thought of that combination, and I checked with my mom and dad before I actually took it to make sure it wasn't like deadly, and I still didn't because of my mom and dad, so I checked on the internet, and that was the only time I had to take Tylenol 3, which is amazing, because considering that I just had my chest cut open, you would think that you go through a lot more pain, but no, I took Tylenol 3 that night, woke up at 8:30ish with pain. I took one Tylenol 2, and it stayed until about 1 o'clock that day, and then I took about, like every 4 to 6 hours I took Tylenol 2 a couple times, and then eventually it just faded into Tylenol 1, and then after Tylenol 1 I didn't have to take anything at all. I did not have 2 weeks of pain. I had about 4 days of pain, and it definitely decreased every time that I took Tylenol. So yeah, I would say that they did an amazing job. So anyways, I'm going to show you basically where it is. Now, if you're someone who's squeamish or you don't want to see this, then definitely turn off the video now. But yeah, it's definitely not going to get graphic in here, but I'm going to show you. So yeah, so this is the scar. And right now it's a bit tender because I just had a blood exchange 2 days ago, and they put like stinking heavy needles in you. So yeah, it's actually kind of funny because the first time that I had it done, my best friend was texting me, and I sent her a picture, and she was like, did you just get stabbed in the chest? It does kind of look like that. I'll leave in a picture of what it looks like when they actually exchange my blood right here. So this is the scar right here, and then underneath right here is where the actual plate is. It's about this big, I would say, but it's a bit thick. It's like about that thick. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about what it looks like. Yeah, like I said, it's 79% titanium, and then something else percent, the rest percent, 21% aluminum, and then like the little hubs on the top are plastic, but they're like the squishy plastic, not like the harsh plastic, shiny plastic. So yeah. I'm trying to think what else to say. I don't even know. Okay, so to exchange, what they do is they put one needle into your the right side of the port, and then they put one needle into the other side of the port, and one side pulls out my blood and one side puts in my blood. Well, puts in someone else's blood. So yeah, it's about Well, from when I leave the house, I put on numbing cream because they give you numbing cream, which I think is really good. And they tell you like how to put it on and like exactly where to put it on and when to put it on. So I leave the house, I go in with my dad because it's closer to his work. So I leave the house about, I would say, depending on the day, about 6 o'clock in the morning. And I put it on right before I leave, like 2 minutes before I leave. I put on the little plastic thing, and it sits there for about 2 hours. And then at 8 o'clock, the unit opens at 8:30. At 8 o'clock, I put on another squirt. Leave it for about 45 minutes because they usually put on another squirt for me when I'm actually in the unit. And then I wait for about an hour for A, to numb, B, for the blood work and like the blood product to arrive, and C, because they're a little slow in that unit. So that's why I wait an hour. And then after I wait an hour, they put in the needles, which you can definitely feel. It doesn't numb completely. You can definitely feel, but once it's actually in there, you don't feel a thing. You really don't feel a thing, and that's one thing that I'm grateful for, because when I had it in my veins, I couldn't bend my arm because otherwise my vein would go pow! It would, not burst, but I'd put a hole in my vein and it would hurt. Oh my god. So yeah, I couldn't bend my arm. I couldn't really do anything, but because I don't have my hands stuck with needles, I can do whatever I want too. So I can text, or I can flip through a magazine, or I can watch a movie or whatever. Before I could only like sleep or watch a movie. So, sorry, what was I saying? I was saying they put in 2 needles. I have pictures, so I'll insert the pictures, and then they connect the wires, and presto, it's done. It takes about 2 hours from that point. And then after that, they take out the needle. Well, they clear it and they put in heparin, which is a blood thinner. And then after they clear it and put in the heparin, they wait about 15 minutes. And then after they take out the heparin and stuff, well, they don't take it out, but they undo the syringe. Then they take out the needles and they press on my chest because they need it to clot, essentially, for 20 minutes, I would say. It's very uncomfortable. That's the worst part, I'd say. So yeah, and then after, because it's really tender at that point, so it really hurts. Well, not really hurts, but it hurts a little. So after they press on my chest, I'm supposed to sit there for 15 minutes, but to be honest, I never do. I sit there for about 10 minutes, and then I'm off to change because they put you in a hospital gown because they don't want blood getting all over your shirt and stuff if something were to happen. But luckily, I not had anything happen. Yeah, that's pretty much it, to be honest. And then after I changed, they gave me my new appointment. Well, we work out a date for my new appointment, and yeah, that's how it works. And oh, I have to go in either 2 or 1 day before to get the blood work matched, because basically their theory, again, I'm not necessarily sure if this is correct, or if I agree with it, but basically their theory is that anytime in your life you can build antibodies towards your blood type. So basically you can create, okay, I'm going to try to dumb this down as much as I possibly can because I still don't fully understand it. So this is going to be my confused definition. So say you're type A. If you're type A, you know that you're type A, but then something can happen in your body, you get sick or whatever it may be, that you're A, but then you're something within A. That doesn't make any sense, does it? Basically, within A, you can mean lots of different things. You can have like A with a hint of C, or A with a hint of O, or stuff like that. And that can happen anytime in your life, no matter what the circumstance is. And they figure that if they test a day or 2 beforehand, then they will know every single thing about my blood and be able to match someone with the similar or the same type of blood. So yeah, but still they say that it's not 100% guaranteed, but I do have to do it every time. So yeah, I usually go in the day before. I used to go in 2 days before, but then lately it's just been better to go in the day before because, I don't know, it's the way it was worked out with my schedule and the day that I end up going. It hurts. I'm not gonna lie, it does hurt a little bit when it goes in. When the needles go in, holy cow. The needles are really thick. I actually have a friend named Tanisha who goes to the same unit, and she's actually the one who I overlooked when I was trying to figure out if I wanted it. She said that the first time that she had it done, she had to take a calming medicine, like a relaxant, so that she would not freak out because of the needle size. Like, the needles are huge, but I just kind of figured, whatever. I've been poked so many times in my life. I'm like an airbag, or like, I don't know, a punching bag, or a poke bag, that I'm just like, hey, whatever, just do it. And honestly, it doesn't hurt that much. I know that if I did not have my skin numbed beforehand, it would hurt like hell. It would hurt so much, but because it gets numbed, or halfway numbed, or somewhat numbed, it does not hurt as bad. But it hurts going in and it hurts coming out, and then the worst part is then putting the pressure on, because they usually press really hard and it's not fun at all. But you know what, I think it is a lot better because I can do what I want while it's happening. Before, it was like 4 hours of my life wasted. I could just like sit there like this, but now I can do whatever I want. I can text, I can catch up on emails, I can study, I can read a book, I can do anything I want, because my arms are free. I don't have to worry about it going wrong. I mean, I know that there is a chance of it going wrong while I'm there, and they did tell me that, but they said that the chances of that going wrong versus me continuing peripherally are like on whole different worlds. They said that if I continue peripherally, it would not have been good. There's only like a couple of bad sides when you think about it. It's just the fact that I didn't want something in me, but you know what, at this point, I don't really care. Like, it's not like it's something that generally affects my day-to-day life. I don't know it's there. I mean, if I was to fall on it, like, because when okay, this is kind of like getting a bit sidetracked, but when I had my brain surgery in 2010, the next year, so it was February 2011, I fell at school, and I fell directly on my head. You should have seen me. I was freaking out like no other. What if something went wrong? What if the brain surgery is now knocked on, like, ineffective? Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I was freaking out. My best friend had to calm me down. So if I fell and I fell directly on my chest, I'm not gonna lie, I would freak out. And if like someone like generally like hits me, or like I get hit in the chest area, I freak out about it. And it also hurts a little bit, but you know what? Apart from that, I can't even tell it's there. Luckily, no one else can tell it's there. Like, it's not visible like the actual discs. You can just see the scar. But I'm sure that will fade. It was a lot better when it hadn't scabbed off. But now that it's scabbed off, it's really obvious. But I don't know. My best friend said the other day, and it made me feel a lot better. My best friend said, "Your scar looks badass." And I was like, you know what? You're right, it does. And then we were laughing about it, and she was just saying, no, it looks like you got in a fight with Wolverine. I was like, yeah, a knife fight on the street. So, yeah, I just kind of look at it in the most positive light possible, and to be honest, it's all I really can do, because I've been given this life for a reason, and I must walk the path, and once I'm on the path, I can't change it. I can't change my mind, and I'm happy with it, to be honest. I'm just not looking forward to traveling. That's one thing I'm not looking forward to, but whatever. That's life, I guess. And I hope that I don't get frisked. I can't say that. I hope that I don't get frisked in the airport security, but who knows. I'm going to fly in May with my friend Brooke to Miami, and I'm not looking forward to that. That's the next time I fly, I think. And that's going to be interesting. But I will keep you guys posted. So I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I hope it was informative, and I know that I'm really sorry I had to explain the whole blood exchange thing to you guys. That's why I made a part 1 video. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed both parts, if you watch both parts. And if you didn't, then yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed any of the videos. Thank you so much for watching. It's because of the fact that you guys care / want to know / are inquisitive and curious about it that I sit down and make these videos, because otherwise there'd be no point. But you guys are always there to care and to be, you know, just generally curious about my life and generally curious about my health. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much. I don't have anything else to say, so I'm gonna go. Oh, I do have one more thing. If you guys have any more questions, and I mean any more questions at all, then go ahead and leave them in the comments, or you can always email me at Siobhan@beautybylaws.com, which of course I will leave written out here, and it's always in the bottom bar as well. But yeah, so yeah, now I'm done. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys all later. Bye! Deuces!